Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim, doing a very short, hopefully, intro to the video that you're about to watch, or maybe you'll choose not to watch. If you're mainly a subscriber for the grocery hauls, I'm actually going to record that after this intro, and it will be available next week. So if you want to wait until next week and watch the type of video you want to watch, I will not be offended at all. That being said, I needed to do this intro to warn you guys that the video did not turn out how I wanted it to turn out. Apparently, I'm not a good documentary maker, movie maker, whatever have you. The audio will get really quiet in some places because I rely on my camera audio. It's a little harder to take the microphone out with me to do this kind of a thing. So there's going to be camera audio and voiceovers, which aren't that bad, but it'll all be quiet. Some of the camera angles are in the wrong direction. I have lots of shaky cam, and yeah, it did not turn out the way I was hoping it would. And I nearly didn't post it, but I know a lot of people who are like regular listeners, watchers, have really wanted a tag along, see my work kind of video. So I'm gonna post it anyways. There's just a lot to it. So I will not be offended if no one watches it, I guess. But if you do like it, if it's fine, I will extra need the compliments on this one. So without much further ado, let's cue in to the footage, I guess. Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim, bringing you a unique video today, for me anyways. Basically, we're going to do a tag along. I have my car all full up, or rather it's my guy's car, all full up of my craft show stuff, and I'm going to set up today. It's a 3-day show, so we're going to set up Friday morning, which is now, sell Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, the downside to having a 3-day show is I don't have any helpers around to help me. My family and friends all have like regular office jobs, so they have very like normal hours, right? So I am going to get going on the road here, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit. All right, so I have driven to the high school that the craft fair will be at today. This is McQueen High School in Reno, Nevada, and I am basically in a car queue to check in, so it's a bit slow going. I arrived pretty much like right when setup started. I'm kind of one of those people who do that. And yeah, apparently a lot of other people are here right on time, so I get to move up one space. Woo! How dangerous is this? I don't think I've ever chatted on my phone before while I drove, even though that was like roughly 1 mile per hour. But anyway, so this is just another fun part about being a self-employed woman. Hopefully we'll get up to the actual load-in doors soon, and then the fun really begins. I'm next in line, so we'll see what happens. Here we are. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Pause through.
Right.
Busy,
It's warm out here.
Yeah, already,
This
right?
is gotta be our warmest weekend ever, I think.
Yeah.
It has to be. It's crazy.
I know. I didn't even need a sweater or anything loading up the car, and
I'm about
like,
to take this jacket
you're
off.
like,
Goodness. But it's better than being freezing out here.
Yes.
What's your spot number?
SG21. Just two.
There's all your goodies, just like last year. There's your badges. Just pull up to where this curb is and wait a sec, and they'll kind of wave you in when there's a spot.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll text her and tell her you're here.
Thank you. Okay, so I am waiting to get loaded up. Something that's nice about this particular show is that since it's a fundraiser for the schools, one of the things they provide is kids that'll load your stuff, or at least unload your stuff. They don't actually load it at the end, which is nice, but we're waiting for them to be available. And sometimes when it's like this, to help get rid of the nerves, I do a bit of car karaoke. We'll see if this gets cut or not. But essentially, I'm not a fantastic singer, but I'm an okay singer who just loves to sing. So, let's see how this goes. Oh, class is out. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark, no blinding lights or tunnels to gates of white, our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. Okay, and now we're at voiceover time. Yay! I believe we will be having voiceover for the rest of the video. I had intended for there to be more asides, but you know, once work happens, it was all I could do to just keep the camera rolling. So as you see right now, I am setting up my pop-up. This particular show, even though it's indoors, requires you to use a tent or some sort of divider wall thing. And I have a tent for outdoor shows, so it makes sense to use that instead of buying something new. But it can be a bit of a pain to set up, especially when you're by yourself. But as you see, I can do it, and I feel very proud of myself that I am capable of setting up my own tent. I have, at this point, already put up some curtains instead of my regular side walls. This particular tent is actually green, and I hate it. You'll see once I have my full display that I kind of have a sort of a teal and blue sort of color palette going on with a bit of gray as my backdrop overall. And when I got my tent, I thought it would be a lighter, more pleasant blue, but it's like forest green, and it's not the best color to go with all my other stuff. And also, let me just say, when I'm outside doing a craft show, it is so hot because it's such a dark color. It absorbs all the heat.
Can't hit that note.
And felting stuff is very light. It's prone to blowing away in the winds if you put down your walls. So I'm always stuck with the 3 walls up all show long. And it is just, it's one of these days I'm gonna buy a white tent and just, I will be so happy. But they're a bit of an investment, and I'm kind of moving away from doing outdoor shows. They don't seem to be the best ones for me. They rely on a lot of passive foot traffic, right? And my particular product, it can be kind of expensive if you get the nicer pieces, and it's not really an impulse buy kind of an item usually. So, and yeah, the outdoor shows are not my best. And you'll see kind of popping in and out a sweet young person. I don't remember her name anymore, but she is a member of the high school in the ROTC, and they come around once in a while and help out the vendors. So it's really sweet. You know, most craft shows you don't get that. And now it's time for a look at all my stuff. I apologize for the shaky cam. I had it on a selfie stick, and I thought that would help me kind of get better angles and go around. But really, all I accomplished was increasing the amount of wobble, because you know it has a higher, what is that, like a higher lever, I guess is the word I'm looking for. There's another word, fulcrum, not quite that. But anyways, it enhanced all my hand jitters rather than take them away. So it only gets worse when I decide to leave the booth and walk around to show you guys everything else. But yes, this is my booth all set up. Yay! I have quite a few things. I think I have a good variety this year. I have mobiles, I have, you know, inexpensive items, I have scarves. I finally sold some scarves. I managed to sell my dragon scarves for like $150, and that's kind of what they're worth. That's the time and everything involved in them. But the straight sort of quote unquote regular scarves, I made a whole bunch of those because they were fun to make, and turns out most people just are not willing to invest in a wool scarf, particularly because wool is, you know, it's kind of for some people it can be scratchy, itchy. There we go. So I'm sad that those didn't take off. I probably won't be able to make any more because I don't have time for funsies projects. It has actually been quite a challenge just keeping up with the craft shows that I have had, and really something has to give. I'm gonna have to start charging more or being more picky about my shows or something, because I'm working every day. Like, my guy gets frustrated because, you know, I'll make dinner. You know, I'll work from home. He comes home. I make dinner and I prep all that stuff, and then what happens is as soon as I get free again, I start working. After our obligatory TV hour, I'm right back at work. Many days, not every day, but many days. And then I lied. We do have a little bit of live footage that I managed to take. I'd forgotten about this somehow in the span of the first edit and this particular edit. So long story short, I had set up my camera and I thought I could capture like the whole day or at least my first sale. And this one lady was the only person comfortable enough to get close to me with the camera running. People have like a sixth sense because I had it pointed towards me, not out. You know, it's a very small camera. It was behind a shelf, but it did have a little tiny blinking light, right? And people noticed that in their peripheral vision, and they started kind of like leaving my booth super early. So I ended up taking the camera down pretty shortly after this conversation. And then as you can see here, I try to keep myself busy in between customers, and I work. I try to do some felting inside my booth. I think it helps educate people, you know, intrigue them, make them understand that needle felting takes a lot of time and effort, and that's why, you know, a little tiny soft animal thing in my booth costs a lot more than a plushie you would get at Walmart, right? You can also see that there was a needle felting video playing that always plays now, whether I'm working or not, to help also educate people. That is my donut tutorial, which is over on my other channel. I believe I have a link down in the description box if you want to go find that. It's not exactly ASMR, but I tend to try to keep a calm voice when I'm teaching, which is funny because my day-to-day voice is actually a bit louder and a bit more abrasive. But for ASMR and for teaching and any like small children things or whatever, I have, you know, this voice. At any rate, that's basically the end of the footage. I'm putting on some still photographs of my work to give me time to finish my story here, my dialogue. I had thought that my helpers, I have 2 sister-in-laws, and they're generally very good about coming down to the craft shows and helping me out, you know, giving me lunch breaks and what have you. But they've gone to at least, like, I don't know, in the past 3 years, maybe 30 to 50 shows with me. And because I'm so independent, I'm like, yeah, if you don't, you know, want to come, then don't come or don't stay that long. And it shot me in the foot this time around because I kept thinking that I was going to send them out with the camera to get footage of the craft fair in action. You know, I was able to walk around after I had finished my setup, but that doesn't give you the full, you know, impression. I'm sure you guys can fill in the blanks. I can't imagine any of you have never been to any sort of craft fair before. They're pretty common, right? But at any rate, that gives you a little gander into my side of the world. Again, if you're interested in needle felting, there's a link to the donut tutorial, which has, my channel has a couple of videos on it. It doesn't have a lot. And there's my Etsy. And if I don't have my Instagram, poke me, because I should have my Instagram in the description box too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this journey. As I said in the intro, the grocery haul video will be coming out within a week, so fear not. This is not your only video this month. And yeah, I hope you had a decent time, and thank you. Nighty night.